Discipline is not about motivation. It's about making a clear decision and showing up even when you don't feel like it. Every time you repeat that choice, you build a version of yourself that gets stronger, sharper, and more focused. The more you stay consistent, the less you need to rely on willpower. Most people quit not because they can't do it, but because they keep waiting for the perfect moment. But the truth is, discipline makes the moment perfect because you're no longer controlled by your mood or excuses. Today, we will talk about daily discipline and how repeating one simple choice over and over can make you unstoppable. You'll learn how to build structure, take control of your time, and finally become someone who doesn't break promises to themselves. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being committed. If you're ready to take full control of your habits and build a life you're proud of, then let's dive in. Number 1. Start each day with a clear written intention. Most people wake up already behind. Their feet hit the floor and they're already in reaction mode, scrolling through their phone, checking messages, thinking about everything they didn't do yesterday. The day runs them instead of them running the day. That's the truth for most. They move through life without a plan, hoping that somehow things will fall into place. But hope is not a strategy. If you don't give your day direction, you hand it over to chance. And when you leave your life to chance, you start living like you don't have a say. That's not how a person becomes strong. That's not how someone becomes unstoppable. The strongest people you've ever met, those who command their day, who make progress even when the rest of the world is distracted, they all have something in common. They start their day with a written intention. They don't guess their way through life. They make decisions before the day begins. Why? Because discipline doesn't start at noon. It starts the moment you wake up. It starts when your eyes open and your mind is fresh. That's when the battle is won or lost right at the beginning. A clear written intention is more than a list. It's not just a to-do. It's a personal promise. It's you telling yourself what matters today and what doesn't. It gives your actions purpose. It reminds you why you're doing what you're doing. It protects your time, your energy, and your mental focus. If you don't take that small step of writing down what matters most for the day, the world will gladly decide it for you. You'll get pulled in 10 different directions. You'll say yes when you should say no. You'll get busy being busy, and by the end of the day you'll feel like you worked hard but got nowhere. That's a dangerous pattern, and it's more common than you think. You don't need a fancy planner. You don't need hours. You need 5 minutes. 5 quiet minutes where you check in with yourself. What do I need to accomplish today to move forward? What would make today meaningful? What are the distractions I must avoid? Write it down. Not just think it, not just say it out loud. Write it. Why? Because when you write it, it becomes real. It becomes visible. It becomes harder to ignore. A written intention keeps you honest. It reminds you what you said mattered most when your mind starts to wander or your energy dips in the afternoon. You see, discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being clear. And clarity only comes when you slow down long enough to define what matters. If you don't define it, you can't commit to it. And if you don't commit to it, you'll abandon it the moment discomfort shows up. That's what happens to most people. They confuse movement with progress. They stay busy but never get anywhere because they never chose a direction to begin with. When you wake up and write your intention, you are taking back control. You are no longer drifting. You are deciding. That changes everything. It brings a sense of purpose to your morning. You walk different. You talk different. You make decisions faster because you already made the most important decision at the start of your day, what matters most. That clarity gives you power. It gives you momentum. It helps you say no without guilt and yes without hesitation. Most people underestimate the power of small daily choices. They think transformation comes from one big moment. It doesn't. It comes from consistent alignment every single day with what you said matters most. And that starts with intention, not reaction. Intention. Imagine the strength you build when every single morning, before the world can pull you in 10 directions, you remind yourself of what matters most and write it down. That's not just structure, that's freedom. That's ownership. That's leadership over your own life. You might think, I already know what I need to do. That's fine. But knowing isn't enough. Clarity without commitment leads to nothing. You need to act on it. And the first action is writing it down. That 5-minute ritual becomes the anchor of your day. On the days you feel tired, on the days you feel uncertain, on the days you feel like nothing's working, that simple written intention becomes your compass. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you focused. And most of all, it keeps you honest with yourself. You know what else it does? It builds trust. Not with others, with yourself. When you wake up and see that written intention from yesterday, and you see that you followed through, even just a little, something changes. You start to believe in yourself again. That inner voice that once said, "You never finish anything," starts to quiet down. And a new voice shows up. One that says, "You're doing it. You're becoming someone who follows through." That kind of belief can't be faked. It's earned. And it starts with that first step, writing it down. People who are disciplined don't have more time. They don't have more motivation. They have more structure. And that structure starts with clarity. That clarity starts with intention. And that intention begins before the world gets noisy. Before you check the phone. Before you talk to anyone. Before the day takes over. That moment is yours. Guard it. Own it. Use it. If you want to build the kind of focus, strength, and discipline that lasts, then you have to stop letting your mornings slip by without direction. No more aimless starts. No more foggy decisions. No more putting your energy into the wrong things because you didn't take a few quiet minutes to decide what the right thing was. Every strong life starts with strong mornings. And strong mornings start with a clear written intention. It's not about writing the perfect plan. It's about waking up with purpose. It's about not waiting until things get urgent or overwhelming. It's about leading your day instead of surviving it. And when you do that, day after day, something starts to shift. You start feeling different. You start becoming the kind of person who doesn't drift, who doesn't hesitate, who doesn't wait for permission to get serious about their life. That's when discipline stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like your nature. This isn't theory. This is what works. This is how you move forward when motivation fades. This is how you stop starting over. You take back control of the first few minutes of your day. You take a pen, you take a piece of paper, and you write, you decide, you choose. Because the person who starts the day with clarity is the person who finishes the day with progress. And that kind of person day after day becomes unstoppable. Number 2, stick to one small habit until it becomes automatic. The reality is, most people want change fast, but change doesn't come from doing everything all at once. When faced with a mountain of new habits to form, they get overwhelmed, and before long, everything falls apart. It's not because they lack willpower or ambition, it's because they try to tackle too much. The human brain isn't wired for sudden, massive shifts. It craves simplicity. It thrives on repetition. The key to lasting change is not grand gestures, but steady small steps taken day after day until those steps no longer require effort. They become part of who you are. Habits are the foundation of daily discipline, but they don't just happen. You must intentionally choose one small habit and commit to it fully. Not 10, not 5, just one. When you focus your energy on that one habit, you give it room to grow. You give yourself the chance to master it. This isn't about making huge changes overnight. It's about doing something small, consistently, until it's automatic. Until it becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. Imagine the power in that. To wake up one day and realize you no longer have to will yourself to do the right thing because it happens without thought. Your discipline moves from a battle of strength to a flow of momentum. That's where real change lives, not in the battle, but in the ease that follows the battle. The difference is like night and day. Most people underestimate the value of one small habit because they look for quick results. But success is a slow process. The key is patience. The key is persistence. The brain builds new pathways by repetition. Every time you repeat a habit, it gets a little easier. Your brain says, "Okay, I know this. I'm comfortable with this." Soon, it becomes a habit that needs no effort to maintain. That's when you're no longer fighting yourself. You've won a small but powerful victory. That small habit can be anything: drinking a glass of water when you wake up, spending 5 minutes reading, writing down a goal, doing 10 push-ups, or sitting quietly to breathe deeply. What matters is that it is small enough that you cannot make an excuse. It's doable even when you're tired or stressed. It's something so simple you can't argue with yourself about whether you have time or not. This is crucial because discipline isn't about how much you do, it's about how consistently you do it. Consistency turns that tiny action into a habit. That habit becomes part of your identity. You start seeing yourself differently. You become the kind of person who follows through. You become the kind of person who keeps promises to yourself. That shift in identity changes your entire mindset. It builds confidence because every day you prove to yourself you can do what you set out to do. That confidence is fuel for bigger challenges ahead. The temptation to skip a day is real. Life gets busy. Your energy runs low. But the strength of a habit lies in its repetition, not in your mood. Discipline means showing up even when you don't feel like it. By sticking to that one small habit, you create a habit of showing up itself. That is the real power of this strategy building, the habit of commitment. When you do this daily, you're training your brain to expect action from you. You're training your mind to resist excuses. Most failures come not from lack of ability, but from breaking the chain. When one day is missed, it becomes easy to miss 2, then 3, then weeks. That's the danger of not having a strong habit. But when you keep your habit small, the risk of breaking the chain drops drastically. It's easier to keep the streak alive. That streak creates momentum, and momentum is a force that carries you forward, even when motivation fades. The beauty of a small habit is that it lays a foundation for bigger habits. Once you master one, you have created a blueprint for adding the next. You build on your success, layering habits like building blocks. But don't rush. Trying to add too many habits at once is like trying to sprint before you learn to walk. The process is gradual. It requires patience. It requires respect for the natural pace of change. When the habit becomes automatic, it no longer needs your mental energy or willpower. It frees up space in your mind and your day for more important tasks. It's no longer a choice you wrestle with. It becomes part of your lifestyle. You stop thinking about it, and it simply happens. This is where discipline stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a gift you give yourself every day. The process of turning a behavior into a habit involves emotional commitment. You must connect that small habit to a feeling or outcome that matters deeply. You can't just do something because you should. You have to want the result with enough intensity that even when it's uncomfortable, you don't quit. That emotional connection is what keeps you grounded when obstacles appear. It's important to set realistic expectations with yourself. Change takes time. Your brain and body need that time to adjust. Don't be discouraged by setbacks or slow progress. Instead, see them as part of the process. Each day you stick to the habit is a victory, no matter how small it seems. Celebrate those victories quietly but fully. They are proof you're moving forward. When others see your consistency, they notice. That consistency builds respect, not just from others, but from yourself. You become someone who can be counted on. You develop inner strength because you have proven that you can endure, that you can keep going, no matter what. That is the essence of discipline. There will be days when your mind says, "This is too small to matter." Those are the days when your discipline is being tested the most. On those days, remind yourself that this small habit is your anchor. It is the thread that holds your progress together. Breaking that thread means unraveling everything you've built. Protect it fiercely. Honor it as the beginning of something much bigger. This habit is the start of your unstoppable journey. When one habit becomes automatic, you've crossed a threshold. You are no longer a person who tries, you are a person who does. You've begun to rewrite your story from someone who struggles to someone who succeeds by default. That kind of transformation changes not just your day, but your entire life. So focus your energy. Pick one small habit. Commit to it daily, without fail, until it is no longer a decision, but a part of who you are. This is the foundation of daily discipline. This is the path to becoming unstoppable. Number 3, eliminate distractions that steal your daily focus. The struggle with distraction is one of the most common battles people face every single day. It's relentless and it's sneaky. Most don't realize how much time slips through their fingers because their focus is hijacked by things that don't matter. You sit down with the best intentions, ready to get work done, to improve, to push forward, and before you know it, your attention is pulled away. Maybe it's your phone buzzing, a notification popping up, an email arriving, or the endless scroll of social media. The world is built to steal your focus, and if you don't fight back, your progress will stall or stop completely. Distractions are not just interruptions. They are thieves of your most valuable resource, your attention. Once your attention drifts, it takes time to get it back. You don't just lose a few seconds, you lose minutes, sometimes hours. What's worse, distraction breaks your momentum and makes it harder to get back into the flow of your work or your goal. The cost of distraction is high, but most people don't fully understand that cost because the losses are invisible until the end of the day, or worse, the end of the week, month, or year, when they look back and wonder why they haven't moved forward. Eliminating distractions is not about being perfect or completely isolating yourself. It's about being intentional with your time and your energy. It means recognizing what pulls you away from your goals and taking deliberate steps to protect your focus. The first step is awareness. You must pay close attention to your habits and identify what distractions occur most often. Is it social media? Is it chatty co-workers? Is it multitasking with too many open tabs? Knowing what steals your attention is key to regaining control. Once you know your distractions, you have to remove or limit them. This requires discipline and sometimes difficult choices. Turn off notifications on your devices or put your phone in another room. Close the apps or websites that aren't essential to your task. If you work in a noisy environment, use headphones or find a quieter space. Protect your work time like you would protect a valuable appointment. This isn't about being rigid, it's about setting boundaries with yourself and others. It's important to structure your environment so it supports your focus rather than fights against it. Your space should invite concentration. A cluttered desk, a noisy room, or an overloaded inbox makes it harder to think clearly. Clear your physical space to clear your mental space. When your environment is clean and organized, it sends a signal to your brain that it's time to focus. Small changes like this have a big impact over time. Distraction often sneaks in when motivation dips. When the task feels hard or boring, it's tempting to check your phone or switch tasks. This is why protecting your focus needs to be a non-negotiable habit. It's not just about starting strong, but about sustaining your effort. The difference between successful people and those who drift is their ability to keep their eyes on the prize, even when the work feels dull or difficult. That strength comes from eliminating distractions before they even have a chance to derail you. Multitasking is one of the biggest enemies of focus. It feels productive, but it's a lie. Trying to do multiple things at once means you're actually giving less attention to each task. Your brain switches rapidly from one thing to another, which reduces the quality and speed of your work. Instead, focus on one thing at a time. Give it your full attention until it's complete, or until you reach a natural stopping point. This simple shift will improve your productivity and reduce the mental exhaustion that comes from jumping around. Some distractions are internal. Negative thoughts, worries, or daydreams can pull your mind away as much as a phone notification can. You must learn to recognize when your mind drifts and gently bring it back to your task. This takes practice, but the more you do it, the stronger your focus becomes. Think of your attention like a muscle. The more you train it to come back to the present moment, the more resilient it gets. Time blocking is a powerful tool to combat distraction. When you schedule specific chunks of time for focused work and clearly define what you'll accomplish in that block, you reduce the temptation to wander. This is because your mind knows there is a designated time for everything, including breaks and distractions. You don't have to resist constantly because you have planned time to check messages, make calls, or relax. This balance keeps your energy steady and your focus sharp. Eliminating distractions is also about saying no to meetings that aren't necessary, to invitations that don't align with your priorities, and to habits that drain your mental energy. Every time you say yes to something that distracts you, you say no to something important. This is a hard truth many people avoid. Discipline means guarding your time fiercely. You don't owe your attention to everyone or everything. Protect it like a valuable asset because it is. When you finally commit to eliminating distractions, you create a rhythm in your day where focus becomes natural. Your mind stops fighting for attention and starts delivering results. You will notice the difference immediately, not just in how much you get done, but in how you feel. Focused work is satisfying. It energizes you rather than draining you. It builds momentum that carries you forward in your goals. Distraction is often disguised as comfort or reward. The quick dopamine hit from social media or checking email feels good, but it's fleeting and costly. True progress and fulfillment come from deep work, sustained effort, and focus. Training yourself to resist distractions means training yourself to value what really matters. It's not easy, but the payoff is enormous. The people who become unstoppable don't let distractions control their day. They build habits and environments that support their focus. They understand that every interruption is a potential detour from their goals. By eliminating distractions, they keep their energy and attention aligned with their highest priorities. This is how you become consistent and how you build unstoppable momentum. It's natural to be pulled by distractions. They are designed to capture your attention. But the choice is yours. You can let them control you, or you can control them. The difference is discipline, the discipline to protect your focus and stay committed to your purpose. It's a skill that can be learned and strengthened. At the end of the day, your success is the sum of where your attention goes. Every distraction you eliminate adds up. Every moment you reclaim builds your power. When focus becomes your habit, you transform not only your productivity, but your life. You become someone who doesn't get lost in the noise, but moves steadily toward what matters most. This fight against distraction is not just about work. It's about respect for your time, your goals, and yourself. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you send a message to your mind that your dreams deserve your full attention. And that kind of respect creates a foundation no one can shake. Distractions are real and powerful, but your will is stronger when you make it so. It's a daily decision made in moments large and small. The person who eliminates distractions and protects their focus every day builds a momentum that nothing can stop. Number 4. Show up daily, even when motivation feels low. The truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Most people think they need motivation to get things done, but motivation is not the foundation of success. If you wait for motivation to feel like working, you will spend more days sitting still than moving forward. Motivation is a spark, but showing up is the fire that keeps you going. There will be days when your energy is low, when your mind is tired, when everything inside you wants to quit. Those are the days that separate those who reach their goals from those who watch from the sidelines. Showing up every day means commitment. It means deciding that no matter how you feel, you will do what needs to be done. This isn't about grand achievements every day. It's about presence. It's about putting one foot in front of the other, even if it's just a small step. Consistency beats intensity every time because progress is made through daily action, not occasional bursts. When motivation fades, showing up is the muscle you rely on. Think about how often feelings deceive us. One morning you wake up tired, discouraged, or distracted, and it feels impossible to get started. But action changes everything. When you begin, even in a small way, your body and mind begin to respond. Energy builds, confidence grows. The task that once felt overwhelming starts to look manageable. This is why discipline must come before motivation. Motivation alone is not enough to carry you through the hard days. It is common to believe that you need to be in the right mood to work on your goals. That's a lie. Waiting for the perfect mood is waiting for a day that may never come. Every successful person has faced days where they didn't want to move forward, but they did anyway. That is the real work. Showing up daily means showing respect to your future self. You are creating a habit that your future will thank you for. You build momentum by simply being there, doing what you promised yourself. There will be days when motivation is low and resistance is high. On those days, showing up may mean doing less, but doing something. It might mean reading one page, writing one sentence, or taking 5 minutes to plan. The key is to maintain connection with your goal. Stopping completely breaks the chain and makes it easier to give up. Even a small action fuels momentum and reminds your brain that you're still committed. It's important to remember that motivation alone is fleeting. It feels great, but it cannot replace habits and routines. Those who rely only on motivation will find themselves at the mercy of their feelings, which are unpredictable. Showing up daily builds trust with yourself. It builds a reputation in your own mind that you are dependable. That trust becomes the backbone of lasting success. Many people confuse motivation with inspiration. Inspiration is powerful but rare. You don't have to feel inspired to work hard. In fact, sometimes inspiration is the reward that comes after you show up and put in the effort. You create your own motivation by taking action. Waiting for inspiration is waiting for the wind to blow your ship forward. Showing up is rowing the boat regardless of the wind. When motivation is low, discipline must take the lead. Discipline is the habit of taking action even when you don't feel like it. It's the commitment to your vision that transcends temporary feelings. Discipline doesn't rely on emotion. It relies on decisions. Those decisions build a foundation strong enough to withstand any storm. When you practice showing up daily, discipline grows stronger and motivation becomes easier to find. It's also essential to build a routine that supports showing up. When actions become habits, they require less mental effort. Creating a daily schedule that includes time dedicated to your goals reduces the chance of skipping. Your mind starts to expect these actions as part of your day, and you waste less energy debating whether to start. Routine builds a rhythm that carries you through days when motivation is absent. You will face days filled with distractions, fatigue, or doubt. On those days, showing up might mean adjusting your expectations. Not every day will be perfect, and not every effort will be monumental. Accepting that progress can come in small, imperfect steps reduces frustration and prevents burnout. Showing up is about persistence, not perfection. It's important to have a clear why behind your daily actions. When motivation is low, connecting to your deeper reasons fuels your commitment. Remind yourself why you started and what you stand to gain. When your purpose is clear, showing up feels less like a chore and more like a responsibility. That sense of responsibility strengthens your resolve on tough days. Showing up daily creates a compound effect. Small actions add up to big results. It's like planting seeds and watering them consistently. Growth may be slow at first, but it is steady and inevitable. Over time, your efforts accumulate into habits, skills, and achievements that once seemed impossible. That accumulation turns you from someone who hopes for change into someone who causes change. It's natural to experience resistance. That resistance is a signal that you're moving beyond your comfort zone. It's a sign that you're growing. Leaning into that discomfort and showing up anyway trains your mind to handle challenges. It builds mental toughness that becomes a vital tool in your journey. Each day you push past resistance, you become stronger. When you develop the habit of showing up regardless of motivation, you build confidence. Confidence comes from proof, from seeing yourself overcome doubts and distractions. Every day you show up, you create a bank of trust you can draw from during harder times. Confidence feeds itself and creates a cycle that propels you forward with less struggle. Accountability can support your commitment to show up daily. Sharing your goals with someone or tracking your progress increases your chances of sticking with it. When others know your plan, you are more likely to follow through. Accountability adds an external layer of motivation that complements your internal discipline. Even small wins matter. Celebrating your effort, no matter how modest, encourages you to keep moving. Recognition of progress builds momentum and brightens days when motivation is low. It reinforces the value of showing up consistently and reminds you that every step forward counts. It's important to realize that the journey will not always feel exciting. Success is often quiet, invisible work done away from applause. Showing up daily means committing to the unseen hours, the repetitive actions that build character and skill. This quiet work is the foundation of all breakthroughs. The moment you decide to show up no matter what, you take control of your life. You stop being a passenger and become the driver. You embrace responsibility for your results. That decision creates power because it removes the excuse of, "I didn't feel like it." Showing up means action, and action leads to change. When motivation is low and the temptation to quit is high, showing up becomes the defining difference. It's the choice to keep your promise to yourself, even when no one is watching. It's the daily commitment that over time builds unstoppable momentum and turns dreams into reality. Number 5, track your progress to stay consistent and accountable. Most people underestimate how powerful tracking progress really is. They think hard work alone is enough to reach their goals, but without a clear record of where they are, it's easy to lose direction. When you don't measure your progress, your efforts become like walking in the dark without a flashlight. You move forward, but you don't know how far you've come or how far you still need to go. Tracking your progress gives you clarity. It provides real proof that your daily discipline is working or shows where adjustments are needed. This clarity is a game changer because it creates a connection between what you do and the results you want. When you commit to tracking, you turn vague intentions into concrete actions. Writing down your progress, even in small steps, creates a visible path that you can follow. This path serves as a map and a motivator. Seeing progress builds momentum. It triggers a positive feedback loop. When you recognize that you are moving forward, you feel more motivated to keep going. Tracking doesn't just remind you of what you have done, it reminds you that your goal is real and achievable. It keeps your focus sharp and your actions aligned. Tracking progress also creates accountability. When you commit to recording your actions and results, you hold yourself responsible. It's easy to skip a day or two when no one is watching, but tracking forces honesty. You face the truth of whether you showed up or not. This honesty is critical because self-deception is one of the biggest obstacles to discipline. When you track consistently, you stop making excuses and start owning your journey. You develop integrity with yourself, and that integrity builds character. There is a psychological effect called the progress principle. It shows that the single most important factor for people to feel motivated is to see forward movement. Without it, enthusiasm fades quickly. When you track, you tap into this principle every day. Each checkmark or note of progress lights a spark in your brain. That spark creates a craving to continue, to not lose what you've gained. It turns the act of discipline from a chore into a challenge and even a source of joy. Tracking your progress can take many forms, but the key is consistency. It could be a journal where you write what you accomplished, a checklist where you mark off completed tasks, or an app that measures habits. The tool doesn't matter as much as the commitment to use it daily. This daily habit reinforces your discipline and creates a structure that supports your growth. Without this structure, it's easy to let days slip by unnoticed, which leads to lost time and missed opportunities. Another benefit of tracking is that it reveals patterns. When you look back on your records, you start to see trends in your behavior. Maybe some days you perform better, or certain habits help you succeed more than others. These insights allow you to make informed decisions about how to improve. You move from guessing or hoping to knowing. This knowledge lets you adjust your approach strategically instead of blindly repeating what doesn't work. Tracking progress also helps prevent burnout. When you see the accumulation of your effort, it encourages you to keep going. Conversely, if you notice signs of fatigue or decline, you can take action to rest or recharge before it becomes a bigger problem. Tracking gives you control over your journey by making invisible effort visible. This visibility empowers you to take care of yourself and your goals more effectively. When motivation is low, tracking progress can be a lifeline. It reminds you why you started and how far you have come. Even on difficult days, a quick glance at your progress can reignite your determination. This reinforcement breaks the cycle of doubt and procrastination that often derails discipline. Tracking builds confidence by proving to yourself that you are capable of consistency, even when it feels hard. People who track their progress become their own best coaches. They learn to celebrate small wins that many overlook. Each completed step is a victory that deserves recognition. This celebration is not about arrogance but about encouragement. It keeps your spirit engaged and your commitment alive. Without tracking, you miss these moments of encouragement and lose an important source of motivation. The process of tracking also creates a mental contract. When you commit to recording your progress, you are promising yourself to be accountable. This contract makes your goal more real and personal. It increases your sense of ownership over your results. You start to feel responsible not just for starting, but for continuing, improving, and finishing. This responsibility is the foundation of true discipline. When setbacks happen, and they will, tracking progress helps you recover faster. You can see where things went off course and take steps to get back on track. It reduces feelings of overwhelm because you have a clear picture of your journey. Instead of feeling lost or defeated, you feel equipped to adjust and continue. This resilience is crucial for long-term success. Tracking progress is not about perfection or obsessing over every detail. It's about building awareness and creating momentum. It's a simple habit that connects your daily choices with your larger vision. By doing this, you create a bridge from where you are to where you want to be. Without this bridge, goals remain distant dreams. With it, they become achievable realities. In the end, tracking your progress means valuing your time, your effort, and your dreams. It turns discipline into a visible, measurable, and repeatable process. It keeps you honest, motivated, and engaged. The discipline to track every day separates those who drift aimlessly from those who move with purpose and direction. It makes you unstoppable because you are no longer guessing, you are knowing, growing, and succeeding step by step. Number 6. Replace excuses with actions every single time. Excuses are the biggest obstacles standing between where you are and where you want to be. They feel comfortable because they shield us from discomfort and responsibility, but every excuse is a choice to avoid action. The truth is, excuses drain your power and stall your progress. They create a mental story that justifies why you can't move forward today, tomorrow, or any day. These stories sound convincing, but they're nothing more than self-imposed limits. Replacing excuses with actions isn't about being perfect or never slipping up. It's about making a decision every single time to push past the reasons why not and choose the reasons why yes. Most people make excuses without even realizing it. It happens naturally when things get hard or when fear creeps in. Maybe the day is busy and it feels like there's no time. Maybe you feel tired. Or doubt sneaks into your mind whispering you're not ready or not good enough. It's normal to feel this way. The problem is when those feelings turn into excuses that stop you dead in your tracks. When that happens, you lose momentum and distance yourself from your goals. Every excuse is a step backward from becoming unstoppable. The power lies in recognizing the moment you start making excuses. Awareness is the first step to change. When you catch yourself saying, "I can't," or "I don't have time," pause and ask yourself, "What can I do instead?" This simple question shifts your focus from limitation to possibility. It forces your mind to search for a solution rather than a reason to quit. Action always exists, even if it's a small step. The key is to find that step and take it right then and there. It helps to remember that action creates momentum. When you act, no matter how small the effort, you send a message to your brain that progress is happening. Momentum builds energy and confidence, which makes the next step easier. Excuses break this cycle because they stop movement entirely. Once you break the habit of excuse-making, you begin to build a habit of action-taking. This habit is one of the most powerful forces for change and growth in your life. It's not about having big, perfect actions every time. Sometimes action means just starting, even if you don't feel ready. Sometimes it means doing the simplest part of a task instead of the whole thing. The point is to replace the paralysis of excuses with the movement of action. Action clears the fog of uncertainty. It makes problems smaller because you're facing them instead of avoiding them. This process leads to progress and reduces fear. Excuses often mask deeper fears, fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of discomfort. Facing those fears through action helps you build courage. Every time you act, despite fear or doubt, you weaken the hold those feelings have on you. Over time, the voice of excuses grows quieter and your confidence grows louder. This is the transformation that happens when you commit to replacing excuses with action. One common excuse is time. People say they don't have enough hours in the day to work on their goals. The reality is that everyone has the same 24 hours. How you choose to spend that time determines your results. Instead of giving in to the excuse of no time, take control by scheduling a specific window for your action. Even 15 minutes a day adds up to something meaningful. When action becomes a priority, excuses about time lose their power. Another excuse is lack of resources or skills. People often delay starting because they feel they don't have what it takes. But the truth is, you can learn as you go. Action is the best teacher. Every step forward brings new experience, insight, and ability. Waiting to feel fully ready is waiting for a moment that might never come. Replacing this excuse means committing to start where you are and improve through doing. Accountability is a powerful tool to combat excuses. When you share your goals and commitments with someone else, you create a layer of responsibility beyond yourself. This external pressure makes excuses harder to justify. Knowing that someone else expects you to act fuels your determination. You become more likely to replace excuses with genuine effort when you feel accountable. It's helpful to have clear reminders of your reasons for pursuing your goals. When excuses arise, recalling your purpose strengthens your resolve. You remember what's at stake and who you want to become. This connection to your deeper why makes action feel necessary rather than optional. It turns excuses into obstacles you are willing to overcome. Replacing excuses with actions requires mental toughness. It means training your mind to respond differently to challenges. Instead of saying, "I can't because," you learn to say, "What can I do despite?" This mental shift is a skill that takes practice but becomes easier with time. Like any skill, the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every action you take builds confidence. This confidence is not based on luck, but on proof that you are capable of doing what you set out to do. Excuses feed doubt, but action feeds belief. That belief is critical for sustaining discipline because it reminds you that your efforts matter and that you are in control. Even when results are slow or imperfect, taking action moves you forward. Perfectionism often hides behind excuses, stopping people from trying until conditions are just right. The reality is that conditions rarely become perfect. Action in imperfect circumstances is what produces progress. It builds resilience and adaptability, qualities essential for long-term success. When excuses come knocking, it's useful to have a simple practice to break their grip. Pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what is one thing I can do right now? Focusing on a single, manageable action shifts your mind from avoidance to engagement. This practice rewires your response to excuses over time, making action your default choice. Replacing excuses with action isn't about denying challenges or pretending life is easy. It's about choosing to respond differently to those challenges. Life will always throw obstacles in your way. The difference lies in whether you let those obstacles stop you or whether you push through them with consistent effort. This approach builds unstoppable momentum. The more you replace excuses with action, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable and reliable. This reliability becomes a habit. Habits shape your character and define your future. When action is your habit, excuses lose their place. Choosing action over excuses is a daily battle. It's a choice made repeatedly in countless small moments. Every time you choose to act instead of excuse, you strengthen your ability to do it again tomorrow and the next day. This repetition builds the foundation for lasting change. In the end, replacing excuses with action is about claiming ownership of your life. It means refusing to let circumstances or feelings dictate your outcomes. It means deciding that your goals and dreams are worth the effort, no matter what. This decision is the key to becoming unstoppable because it transforms obstacles into stepping stones and hesitation into progress. Number 7. Train your body and mind with daily movement. Life rarely slows down for anyone. Most people feel trapped by stress, fatigue, and the endless demands of daily living. They carry invisible weights, mental tension, restlessness, and physical exhaustion that pile up and drain energy. When energy runs low, focus disappears and motivation slips away. It's common to think the mind works separately from the body, but they are deeply connected. One affects the other every moment of every day. Training your body and mind with daily movement is not just about exercise, it's about awakening your whole being. It's about fueling your mind, clearing your thoughts, and strengthening your resolve. Without this, discipline weakens because your body and mind aren't in sync. Many people underestimate the power of movement because they see it as optional or a chore. They wait for the right moment to start exercising or meditating or even just walking, but the right moment rarely arrives on its own. Instead, energy decreases and distractions increase. Movement ignites energy. It doesn't just burn calories, it triggers a chain reaction in the brain and body that enhances clarity, focus, and emotional balance. You feel more alive, more capable, and more ready to handle whatever challenges come your way. Training your body daily is the foundation for training your mind. They fuel each other. Starting this process doesn't require a gym membership or complicated routines. Simple movement every day is enough. It might be a brisk walk outside where you notice the sounds of the world and the feel of the air on your skin, or a set of stretches that loosens tight muscles and improves blood flow. These small but consistent actions send a powerful message to your nervous system. You are choosing life and vitality, not stagnation. Your body wakes up, your mind follows. This creates momentum to maintain daily discipline in other areas of life. The mind responds to movement by releasing chemicals that reduce stress and improve mood. These natural chemicals, endorphins and neurotransmitters, help reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. When you move, you clear the fog of confusion and distraction that often clouds your thinking. This clarity allows you to focus better on your intentions and goals. It becomes easier to push through distractions because your brain is energized and ready, not sluggish and tired. Movement resets your mental state in a way nothing else can match. Resistance to movement often comes from fatigue or emotional blocks. It's normal to feel tired after a long day or overwhelmed by responsibilities. The temptation is to sit down and shut off. But pushing through that initial resistance changes everything. When you decide to move despite tiredness, you send a signal of commitment to yourself. That choice builds mental toughness because it requires acting beyond comfort. Every time you overcome that resistance, you build a habit that strengthens your discipline. Movement also trains your body to handle stress better. Life's pressures are unavoidable, but how your body responds to stress is something you can control. Regular physical activity improves cardiovascular health, hormone balance, and immune function. These benefits increase your resilience, helping you stay steady in tough moments. When your body is strong and healthy, your mind follows suit. You feel less overwhelmed and more capable of facing challenges head-on. Training your mind with daily movement isn't just physical, it's also mental training. Practices like mindful walking or controlled breathing during movement teach you to stay present. They help you become aware of your thoughts without getting caught up in them. This awareness is crucial for discipline because it prevents your mind from wandering into excuses or negative self-talk. You develop control over your attention, which is the foundation of sustained effort toward your goals. Many overlook the role of simple, natural movement in this process. It's not about pushing to extremes or high-intensity workouts. It's about consistent, intentional motion that reconnects you to your body and environment. This connection builds a sense of grounding that is essential for discipline. When you feel connected to your body, you listen to it and respect its needs. This respect creates balance, preventing burnout and promoting steady growth. Daily movement also builds confidence in subtle but powerful ways. As you notice your strength increasing or your mood lifting, you gain proof that your efforts matter. These small victories boost self-esteem and encourage you to keep going. Confidence built on real effort is durable. It supports you through moments of doubt and discouragement. The habit of moving daily becomes a symbol of your commitment to yourself and your future. Consistency is the core of training both body and mind. It's not about how hard you push on any single day, but about showing up each day. Even on days when energy feels low or motivation wanes, moving a little is better than nothing. That small action maintains the habit and keeps the momentum alive. Over time, these small actions accumulate into significant changes in your health, mood, and mental strength. It helps to have a plan or routine that fits your life. Without a plan, it's easy to skip movement because other tasks feel urgent. Decide when and how you will move each day. This commitment turns movement into a priority, not an afterthought. It becomes part of your daily discipline, just like brushing your teeth or eating meals. When it's a habit, it requires less mental effort and more automatic response. Movement also teaches patience. Physical progress takes time. Muscles grow stronger slowly. Mental clarity improves with repeated practice. Discipline grows in the space between effort and result. This teaches you to appreciate the journey and to value persistence over quick wins. Daily movement becomes a metaphor for your larger pursuit. Steady, consistent effort creating unstoppable momentum. When the body and mind are trained together through movement, you create a powerful feedback loop. Physical activity sharpens mental focus, and mental focus encourages more consistent physical effort. This loop amplifies your ability to stay disciplined in all areas of life. It helps you resist distractions and maintain your course even when external circumstances are challenging. Every day presents a choice. Remain stagnant and let energy drain away, or move and recharge your whole system. The second option is not easy, but it's necessary. It's one of the most reliable ways to build the strength and clarity required for daily discipline. Movement awakens potential you may not even realize you have. It resets your mindset and energizes your efforts toward becoming unstoppable. Your body carries you through life. Ignoring its needs is ignoring the foundation that supports your goals. Training your body and mind with daily movement is an act of respect for yourself. It's a commitment to show up fully in every moment, ready to face whatever comes your way. The energy, focus, and resilience you gain from this practice become tools you carry into every challenge and opportunity. This makes you not just disciplined, but truly unstoppable. Number 8. Say no to things that weaken your discipline. Most people face the exact same struggle every single day. The pull of distractions, temptations, and easy shortcuts that slowly erode their focus and discipline. The truth is, discipline isn't something you build by only doing what's right. It's also built by what you refuse to do. Saying no to certain things is as important as saying yes to your goals. This is where many stumble because saying no can be uncomfortable, even painful. It's about denying instant pleasure or convenience for long-term success, and that can feel like losing out or missing something. Yet, it's precisely this ability to say no that forms the backbone of unstoppable discipline. Discipline weakens when boundaries aren't set. Every time you give in to distractions or excuses, you chip away at your momentum. When the phone buzzes with endless notifications, when you let social media eat your time, when you say yes to every request that pulls you away from your priorities, you are weakening your ability to focus. It might seem harmless, but these small concessions add up. Soon, the energy and attention you need to move forward are scattered, leaving you frustrated and stuck. Saying no is the defense that keeps your daily discipline strong and your vision clear. It's not easy to say no because we live in a world designed to grab our attention and pull us off course. The culture around us encourages instant gratification and constant busyness. Everyone wants something from you. Your time, your energy, your agreement. Without strong boundaries, you lose yourself in other people's demands and distractions. Saying no is a way of reclaiming your time and protecting your inner resources. It's a powerful act of self-respect and self-control. Saying no begins with clarity about what really matters. When your goals are clear, it becomes easier to identify which activities, habits, and people weaken your discipline. This clarity gives you a natural filter to decide what to accept and what to refuse. For example, if your goal is to build a morning routine, saying no to late-night screen time or unnecessary evening commitments becomes essential. Without these no's, your discipline cannot develop because your focus is divided and your energy is drained. Saying no also requires courage. There will be pressure to conform, to please others, or to avoid conflict. Sometimes saying no means missing out on social events or disappointing someone's expectations. It might feel lonely or uncomfortable, but this discomfort is temporary compared to the long-term rewards of building discipline. Choosing to protect your priorities creates space for growth and achievement. Discipline grows in this space, and it grows stronger each time you hold your ground. One key to saying no effectively is understanding the cost of saying yes to the wrong things. Every yes carries a price: time lost, energy spent, mental clutter added. When you say yes without thinking, you trade away precious resources that could have been spent moving closer to your goals. Recognizing these costs helps you make decisions that serve your purpose rather than distract from it. Discipline thrives on this kind of conscious decision-making. Another factor that weakens discipline is multitasking or overcommitting. Trying to do too many things at once or agreeing to everything spreads your focus too thin. Saying no means choosing fewer tasks but giving them full attention. It means prioritizing quality over quantity. This focus strengthens discipline because it channels your effort into what truly matters, avoiding burnout and frustration. Saying no also applies to internal dialogue. Sometimes we say yes to negative thoughts, excuses, or self-doubt that weaken discipline from the inside. These internal distractions pull attention away from consistent action and create emotional resistance. Learning to say no to limiting beliefs and negative self-talk is just as important as refusing external distractions. It takes practice, but this mental discipline builds resilience and keeps you moving forward even when challenges arise. The ability to say no grows with practice. It's not a one-time decision, but a daily choice. Every time you refuse to engage in a habit, a distraction, or a request that weakens your focus, you strengthen your discipline. This builds confidence and momentum, making it easier to say no next time. Over time, saying no becomes automatic because your priorities are firmly established and your commitment is clear. Building discipline through saying no also requires preparation. You can anticipate situations where your resolve will be tested and plan responses in advance. For example, if social media distracts you, you can decide to turn off notifications or set time limits. If colleagues interrupt your work, you can schedule focused blocks and communicate boundaries. Planning in advance reduces decision fatigue and strengthens your ability to maintain discipline under pressure. Saying no is also a way to protect your mental and emotional well-being. When you overextend yourself, neglect rest, or allow constant interruptions, your stress levels rise and your energy drops. This makes discipline harder to maintain. By refusing what drains you, you preserve your health and capacity to perform. This self-care aspect of saying no is often overlooked, but is essential for long-term discipline. The most disciplined people are not those who do everything, but those who do the right things consistently. They have mastered the art of refusal. They understand that every no is a yes to their future, a yes to their goals, and a yes to themselves. This mindset shift changes the way you see saying no, from a loss to a powerful gain. Without saying no, discipline is fragile and vulnerable to every distraction and temptation. With it, discipline becomes a fortress that protects your focus and energy. Saying no is not about deprivation. It's about making space for what truly matters. It's about valuing your time and your goals enough to defend them fiercely. This is the difference between drifting through life and moving toward becoming unstoppable. Every day, you will face choices that test your discipline. The ability to say no to what weakens you is the foundation that holds everything else together. It empowers you to take control of your life, steer your efforts deliberately, and build unstoppable momentum. Saying no is not a weakness. It's one of the strongest tools in the journey of daily discipline. Number 9. Visualize your goal every morning without fail. Every morning presents a choice that most people overlook, a moment where your mind either becomes your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Too often, people wake up and immediately get pulled into the noise of life without a clear vision guiding them. That absence of clarity makes discipline feel like a struggle. The truth is, discipline grows when your mind holds a vivid picture of what you want to achieve. Visualization isn't some vague, mystical practice. It's a practical way to prime your mind for action. If you want to become unstoppable, the simple act of seeing your goal clearly every morning is non-negotiable. When you visualize your goal first thing in the morning, you create a powerful mental anchor. It's like setting a compass for the day ahead. Without this, your mind drifts, caught in random thoughts, worries, or distractions before you even begin. But when you make it a habit to picture your goal, whether it's a fitness milestone, a career achievement, or personal growth, your brain starts focusing on what matters. This focus isn't just mental fluff, it drives your emotions and energy. You begin to feel the pull toward your goal naturally, which makes your daily choices easier and your discipline stronger. Visualization is more than just imagining success. It involves engaging your senses and emotions so the goal feels real. Picture the environment where you succeed. Hear the sounds that surround you. Feel the excitement, pride, or relief you'll experience when you reach that goal. The more real you make this experience in your mind, the more your brain treats it like a target worth pursuing. This emotional connection fuels motivation and discipline, especially on days when motivation is low. The mental image you carry becomes a source of strength, a reminder of why you endure daily struggles. Many people underestimate the power of visualization because they focus only on physical action. But every action starts in the mind. If your mind is unclear or unfocused, your actions will be scattered. Visualization organizes your thoughts around what you truly want. It creates mental clarity that helps you prioritize your tasks. When you visualize consistently, decisions about what to do and what to avoid become easier. This clarity stops you from wasting time and energy on things that don't align with your goal, protecting your discipline. Visualizing your goal each morning also builds emotional resilience. Life will throw challenges, distractions, and setbacks your way. Without a clear mental image of your goal, it's easy to lose heart. You might start doubting your efforts or procrastinating. But when you have practiced visualization, you can tap into that mental picture and remember why you started. It recharges your resolve and keeps you grounded. That mental strength is what separates those who give up from those who keep pushing until they succeed. It's important to note that visualization is not daydreaming. It's a focused, intentional exercise that takes a few minutes every morning. You can do it sitting quietly, closing your eyes, and deliberately imagining your goal as if it's already happening or just about to happen. This habit conditions your brain to expect progress and success. Over time, this expectation builds confidence and discipline. You become less likely to be shaken by distractions or doubt because your mind has been trained to hold a steady vision of your destination. When you visualize daily, it also improves your creativity and problem solving. The brain begins working behind the scenes to align your actions with your vision. You start noticing opportunities, resources, and solutions that were invisible before. Your subconscious mind becomes a partner in your journey, constantly nudging you toward your goal. This mental alignment accelerates progress and strengthens discipline because you're not just reacting to life, you're directing it. Another key benefit of visualization is that it helps manage your emotional state. Starting the day with a clear mental picture of success fills you with hope and energy. It shifts your focus from fear, anxiety, or overwhelm to possibility and action. This emotional shift is crucial because emotions heavily influence discipline. When you feel positive and energized, you are more likely to show up and follow through on your commitments. Visualization sets the tone for your day, creating a mental environment that supports discipline naturally. To get the most from visualization, make it part of your morning routine. Link it with another habit you already have, like brushing your teeth or having a cup of coffee. This makes it easier to remember and stick with. Consistency is the key. It's not about how long you visualize, but about making it a daily, non-negotiable habit. Even just a few focused minutes can transform your mindset and your discipline if done every single morning without fail. The power of visualization grows exponentially with repetition. The brain loves patterns. When you repeat the mental exercise of visualizing your goal every morning, your mind builds neural pathways that reinforce focus and determination. This rewiring makes it easier to maintain discipline because your brain starts to expect and seek progress. Eventually, visualization becomes an automatic mental habit that keeps your goal top of mind and your actions aligned. It's normal to feel skeptical about visualization, especially if you haven't tried it before or if you're used to relying solely on willpower. But the evidence is clear. Successful people use mental rehearsal every day. Athletes visualize their performance. Entrepreneurs imagine their success. Leaders picture solutions before they act. Visualization is a tool for anyone serious about becoming unstoppable because it trains your mind to stay on course no matter the obstacles. In the end, discipline without vision is like driving without a destination. You might move, but you won't get where you want to go. Visualization fixes that by giving you a clear, vivid target to aim for every single day. This target fuels your actions, protects your focus, and powers your persistence. Seeing your goal in your mind each morning creates an unstoppable rhythm, one choice after another, that builds unstoppable momentum over time. The daily act of visualizing your goal is a declaration to yourself that your dreams matter. It's a promise that no matter what happens, you will keep your eyes on the prize. That promise is the foundation of discipline, the spark that keeps the fire burning long after motivation fades. It's simple, yet profound. Seeing your goal clearly each morning is the first step toward becoming unstoppable. Number 10. Celebrate small wins to fuel long-term consistency. Every day, people struggle with staying consistent. They start strong, full of hope and energy, but somewhere along the way, their fire fizzles out. One big reason is that they overlook something simple but powerful: celebrating small wins. Life's biggest achievements are rarely one giant leap. They come from many small victories stacked on top of each other. When these little wins are ignored or undervalued, it's easy to lose momentum and give up. But when you acknowledge and celebrate those small successes, you create a cycle that fuels ongoing effort and discipline. It's a reality check. Discipline isn't about constant, grueling effort without relief. It's about building a system where every step forward counts and propels you toward the next one. Recognizing small wins transforms your mindset. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the distance to your goal, you begin to see progress. This shift is crucial because the human brain responds strongly to positive reinforcement. When you celebrate even minor achievements, your brain releases feel-good chemicals. This natural reward encourages you to keep going. Without these moments of recognition, discipline becomes a chore. You feel like you're pushing uphill with no joy or payoff. But celebrating small wins injects a sense of accomplishment and pride, making the journey enjoyable and sustainable. Most people miss this because they wait for big milestones to celebrate. They think only major breakthroughs deserve attention. This is a trap. Goals, especially big ones, are built brick by brick. Each completed task, each step toward your goal, is a brick. Every time you check something off your list, that's a small win. It could be as simple as sticking to your morning routine, completing a workout, or finishing a challenging task at work. These moments, though small, are proof you are moving forward. Celebrating them keeps your spirit alive and your discipline strong. The way you celebrate small wins matters. It doesn't mean throwing a party every time you accomplish something. It means consciously acknowledging the effort you put in and feeling gratitude for your progress. This might be a moment of quiet reflection, a note to yourself, or sharing your achievement with someone who supports you. These small rituals send a message to your mind that your work matters. They create a mental environment where discipline grows naturally because it's tied to positive feelings, not just obligation or pressure. Celebrating small wins also builds confidence. When you recognize what you have accomplished, it becomes easier to believe in your ability to continue. Doubt and fear often sneak in when you focus only on how far you have to go. But if you track your progress and celebrate regularly, you prove to yourself that you are capable. This self-belief is the foundation of long-term discipline. It's what keeps you showing up day after day, even when obstacles arise or motivation dips. Tracking progress alongside celebrating wins deepens this effect. When you see a record of your consistent efforts, it creates a visual reminder that you are on the right path. This is powerful because seeing evidence of your hard work turns abstract goals into concrete realities. You start to feel accountable to yourself in a positive way. This kind of accountability strengthens your commitment. It makes discipline less about pushing and more about continuing a process that you know works. The impact of celebrating small wins goes beyond motivation. It improves your emotional resilience. Life has setbacks. There will be days when nothing seems to go right. Without a habit of acknowledging progress, these tough days can feel like total failure. But if you've built a pattern of celebrating small successes, you have a reservoir of positive memories and emotions to draw from. This helps you bounce back faster. You remind yourself that setbacks don't erase the progress already made. That perspective keeps you consistent because it reduces the fear of failure and the urge to quit. Small wins also help combat burnout. Discipline is often seen as a relentless grind, but it doesn't have to be. When you recognize and reward yourself regularly, you break up the hard work with moments of joy and satisfaction. These breaks refresh your mind and body. They keep your energy levels higher over time, allowing you to maintain effort without wearing yourself out. This balance between effort and reward is essential for sustainable discipline. It's important to be honest and intentional about what counts as a small win. Sometimes people don't celebrate because they don't think their progress is good enough. This thinking kills momentum. Instead, set clear, realistic criteria for what you'll acknowledge. These criteria should be tied to your daily habits and actions, not just outcomes. For example, if your goal is fitness, a small win might be completing your workout or choosing a healthy meal. These are controllable actions that lead to results. Celebrating them reinforces the behaviors that build your success. The emotional power of celebrating small wins can also strengthen your support network. When you share your achievements, even minor ones, with others, it creates connection and encouragement. People who cheer for your progress become part of your discipline system. Their belief in you helps carry you forward. Social support is a vital but often overlooked element of discipline. It adds an extra layer of motivation and accountability that fuels your consistency. To make celebrating small wins a habit, create a system. This could be a journal where you write down your achievements daily. It might be a checklist you mark off or a simple routine of pausing at the end of each day to reflect on what went well. The key is to make this practice automatic and regular. The more you train your mind to notice and appreciate progress, the easier discipline becomes. You shift from seeing your goal as a distant dream to a daily reality you are actively building. Celebration also teaches patience. Discipline is a long game, and results often take time. Without recognizing incremental progress, impatience can creep in, causing frustration and giving up. Small wins remind you that you are moving forward, step by step, even if the final destination isn't visible yet. This patience strengthens your resolve because you learn to trust the process. Trust is a cornerstone of lasting discipline. It's what keeps you consistent when the finish line feels far away. The habit of celebrating small wins is a mindset shift. It changes how you view success and effort. You start seeing each day as an opportunity to add value to your journey. This outlook turns discipline from a burden into a source of joy and empowerment. It's a positive cycle where progress motivates more progress. With this mindset, discipline becomes natural, not forced. Small wins might seem insignificant in isolation, but their power compounds over time. The repeated act of recognizing progress builds unstoppable momentum. This momentum carries you through challenges and keeps you committed when motivation fades. Ultimately, celebrating small wins is the secret to turning daily discipline into an unstoppable force. It's a simple practice with profound effects, a practice that can transform your life one small victory at a time.